only gonna be oppressed.
You know?
Do you agree we oppressed as a people? We oppressed. That's why the white man can come in your neighborhood and set up their apartments right here that they building behind the Family Dollar. That's why they can come in and gentrify and push you out.
That's right.
They take everything from you. You're the only people that can happen to. And nobody says nothing. Don't nobody defend us.
Right.
And you know how that's proof? You know how we can prove that this real, what God said? Who fits this and where does this statement come from? The struggle is real.
That's right.
Whose life is that? It's ours.
Right.
Yeah. It's only black and Hispanics who say the struggle is real.
That's right.
It's only us. Why? Because every day of our life is a struggle.
Right.
And we're reading that out the Bible.
Right.
God said you're going to be oppressed and spoiled only. That's why I asked you, why you smoke? Calm my nerves. What you need to calm your nerves for? Because you're oppressed.
Right.
You've been spoiled. You've been taken advantage of. All of us have. That's what we out here to show our people. This is the reason why this happened to us.
That's right.
You understand that? Keep reading.
And no man shall save thee. And no man shall save thee.
Now, I asked a question earlier, sis. Who is it that's coming in these neighborhoods saving us? Who do we have at the top that's going to come down here to Oak Cliff and save the people of Oak Cliff and stop the violence and stop the gentrification of pushing you out? Ain't nobody down here to defend us. Don't nobody do that. And what they do is they'll put somebody in the TV, they take Lil Wayne, or they take one of these other rappers, or Cardi B, and have them speak in front of y'all and make you calm down. That's what they do. And they keep doing the same thing over and over and over. God's showing you, he said ain't nothing gonna change. Nothing gonna change. Give me 37. Because I'm gonna show you, when it's dealing with, hold on. Go to Sirach 30 first. Sirach 30 and verse 21. Dealing with your nerves. Read that. 30 and 21.
This is the book of Ecclesiasticus, chapter 30, verse 21.
Bring it out.
Give not over thy mind to heaviness.
You hear what God said? Give not your mind to heaviness.
That's right.
How many of our brothers and sisters today giving their mind to heaviness? That's that woe spirit. That's that depression. That's that, oh, my nerves is bad. That's, man, bro, I don't know what I'm going to do, bro. Hey, something just ain't right. We know because we all been there. I can tell you straight, I've been there. Hey, trust me, I've been there. I have no answers. But guess what? Now I can go in the Bible and God has the answer for us.
That's right.
Read on.
And afflict not thyself. And afflict not thyself in thy own counsel.
So God said, in the midst of your heaviness, you're not supposed to afflict yourself in your own counsel. That's how we do today. Let me ask my brother who just walked up. How do we today deal with our troubles in the world? When stuff ain't going right, we live in paycheck to paycheck, everything going bad. How do we deal with that? You know. You said who? Stress it out. Stretch it out. Yeah, how we deal with all the troubles we dealing with. Because in our hoods, right, people dying, our cousins, family dying. It's who? Violence. That's one way, an outlet. But how do we deal with the people who see the violence? How do we deal with it? What you doing when you go back home and y'all sitting at the table? You ain't doing just talking. Somebody rolling a blunt. Somebody popping a bottle. Somebody getting drunk. Somebody going to a club. Some sister open her legs, them brothers run through her to make her feel better. Some brother is doing it to women to make him feel better. That's how we deal with the stress we dealing with. When our nerves is bad, we spark up a cigarette. We roll up a blunt. But read what God said again from the top.
Give not over thy mind to heaviness.
God said don't give your mind to that heaviness.
And afflict not thyself in thy own counsel.
Because your own counsel will tell you what? Man, it's my fault this is going on. So I got to smoke weed and get high to deal with this. God said you ain't supposed to do that. Read on.
The gladness of the heart is the life of a man.
You see that? God said the gladness of the mind. You understand that, bro? God said the gladness of the mind is the life.
That's right.
Y'all understand that or no? What does that mean?
Being happy, you'll be free.
When you're happy, you'll live longer. But when you see a lot of our people today, we deal with depression. Our people killing themselves, commit suicide at a high rate. Young kids commit suicide. Because the mind is not happy. There's no joy in their mind. So what they do is they afflict themselves and they kill themselves. Why? Because they're oppressed. They've been spoiled. They live in paycheck to paycheck. Their mama can't get them this. Their daddy can't get them that. Their daddy in jail. Their mama been murdered. Their daddy been murdered. These are all things that we see in the black community today. You understand that? Give me Hosea 5:15. How you doing, sis? From the Tropic Gad, all praises.
I'm showing her that sign to show her.
So let me ask everybody a collective question. When did this happen to us? Right here. This sign. Who did this happen to? Y'all familiar with this history? You familiar with this sis? The daughter said no, so I know they probably teaching that in school. So transatlantic, they took it out to school for a reason, because we're teaching it. So when you go through our history, we were sold on auction slave blocks, right? And let me ask you a question. How did you get your last name? You wrote that. Okay. So how did we get our last names, brother? Sister? How we get our last names?
The ones I got now?
Yeah.
Yeah, my dad gave it to me.
The dad, but where did he get it from? I'm talking about go all the way back. There you go. You gotta know history. Look at the pictures I'm showing y'all. Go ahead, sis. All right. Right here, here's an example. We was took and we was sold as slaves on an auction slave block where they took you and your whole family and they bid on your daughter. They bid on your sons. They bid on the mother and the father. One man said, hey, I got a plantation in Kentucky. I want the boy. I'll give you $30. Okay, cool, sold. Somebody said, no, I want the little girl and the mama, but I live in Maine. Okay, here's $60. They took the mother and the mother and the daughter. Now the father's left. Somebody took him down south, down to Georgia. Now your whole family was sold on different plantations. When you got on those plantations, what did you get? The slave owner's last name, because you was deemed his property. Y'all understand that? Psalm 49, verse 11. You got it? Okay.
This is the book of Psalms, chapter 49, verse 11. Bring it out. Their inward thought is that their houses shall continue forever.
So God said the inward thoughts, talking about the white man as we know him as, right? God calls him Esau. He said his inward thought is he gonna rule forever. Do they rule today? They still rule today, right? You still got their names. Their mind is that they still gonna rule forever today. Read.
And their dwelling places to all generations.
They said, I'm gonna give the land that I have, I'm gonna give it to my son and my son's sons. That's what we see today. That's why they gentrify where? Our neighborhoods, because they doing the same exact thing. Read.
Right. They call their lands.
They called the what?
Their lands after their own names.
They called their lands after their names. Where did the street, Bonneview, Simpson Stewart, where did Cortez, Hernandez, where did these names come from? It came from the white man. They put the name on their lands to show what? We gonna rule forever. It's a pride thing. Then they said, on my property, I'm gonna put my name. That's why today your last name is Johnson, whatever it is, Smyth. Showing what? You're calling yourself the property of that slave owner. Drop that. Go back to Deuteronomy 28, 68.
This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, verse 68. Bring it out. And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again.
So going back to the picture, God said he was going to bring us into Egypt again. When you go into history, y'all familiar with Moses, right? Moses brought the Israelites out of Egypt, right? Out of the Red Sea. God said what?
The Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again.
So the question is, what does Egypt mean? Do y'all know? What do we do in Egypt? What was the Israelites doing in Egypt? Were they on vacation? You said it. Slaves. We're going to show you what it means. You got it? Exodus 20. Exodus 20, verse 2. We're going to show you what Egypt means. Don't go nowhere. I see you turning that shoulder. Like yeah, we're gonna read it. Let me get this point for you real quick. Exodus 20 and 2.
This is the book of Exodus, chapter 20, verse 2. Bring it on. I am the Lord thy God, which have brought thee out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of bondage.
Egypt is the house of bondage, which is another word for what? Bondage. When you got chains on, what is that called? Slavery.
Yes.
Go back to 28:68.
The Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again.
Bondage again. Bring you into bondage, slavery.
With ships
How?
With ships.
He said he was going to bring us into slavery with ships. Who was a slave on slave ships? Who was it? Was it a white man on slave ships? What about the Chinese? No, it was us. We was the slaves right here on slave ships. That's why we have the imagery to show y'all. This happened to us. Once we got off the slave ships, we was put on auction slave blocks. Is that history? Guess what? It's also Bible prophecy. Read.
By the way whereof I spake unto thee, thou shalt see it no more again.
God said you wasn't going to see Egypt no more. Not the old Egypt. This is a new place that we was going to go and be slaves. Read.
And there,
once you got off the slave ships,
ye shall be sold.
you should be what?
Ye shall be sold.
What?
Sold.
What?
Sold.
We was sold.
That's right. Unto your enemies for bondmen.
You was a slave man
and bondwomen
and a slave woman. Nobody else can say that happened to them. Nobody would had their family put on auction slave blocks. Nobody had their family picking cotton from sun up to sundown. Nobody was lynched and burned alive besides black and Hispanic people. That's what we're trying to show y'all, the pictures, to remind you this is your history. This is who you are. That's why today in the school they're taking it out, because they don't want this younger generation to know that your history is in the Bible. God spoke about slave ships already. God already told us you was going to be sold.
What is a nation? Nation is family. Nation is community. Nation is men leading by example. Nation is women's support. Nation is children with role models. Nation is unity. Nation is